Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. It's the big one. It's West Ham versus Arsenal live at the London Stadium. Takes place 2:30, I believe. Strange kickoff time tomorrow. 2:30 at the London Stadium. It's a big game for our season. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. We've got a few very special guests coming on today. But before we do, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Andy's first one. He says, "Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is good." Jake, how was the Chinese? That was lovely. James, you were. That was a lovely Chinese last night. I mean, I had to pay for it, but it was all good. I do cook well, mate. All saying hello to each other. How was the Chinese? Here we go. Chinese was incredible. He can buy it every time. And he says, like the sound of that. It's always better when someone buys it for you with anything. Yeah, true. Joe says, we're having Chinese tonight. Jake, are you paying?
Yeah.
Duke's in the building. Duke's in the building. Hello, Pete. Hope you're well. Hashtag free Chinese, Mr. Cox. Pete's dog. But anyway, before we bring our special guests on, can I get your thoughts, James, on our opponents, Arsenal?
This is the worst time to play Arsenal because they're in form. It's just it's all of the time that we could have played Arsenal. We've played them off the back of a North London win and then getting through in the Europa. Tough game, especially after last week's result at Manchester United. For us, it was appalling. Really, team selection was terrible and everything. But yeah, they're a good team. They love to come to our place and get something, but it's down to us to stop them.
Completely. And Mike, what do you think of Arsenal this season? I mean, they're a bit all over the place.
Well, I don't know. I think they're just coming good now. Like James said, I think I've watched them the last couple of games they played, and they've looked really good, to be fair. And I think they're tougher than Man United, to be totally honest. And we're going to have to be a whole lot better than we were in the last game.
Yeah, we'll go on to team selection, all tactics in a minute. But let's get our guests on. Firstly, he came on a couple of weeks ago to do one-on-one. My second former West Ham player to come on the channel. He's come on the preview, and today's a big preview, and we've got some fantastic guests. Firstly, it's Joe Silly. Joe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much for coming on. And a couple of Arsenal fans. Michael, he came on. He came on to stir things up. Oh, you there? Is he there? He came on to stir things up in the North London Derby special. But it's Michael. Michael, good afternoon.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Oh yeah, good. And we've also got Gary as well. Who's an Arsenal fan. Gary.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So we've got lots of fans today, lots of things to discuss. So we're going to get straight on in with it then. So in terms of Arsenal then, Michael first, just sum up your season for us. It's been a bit strange, mate.
It has been very strange, mate. I think we've just lacked consistency, haven't we? I mean, I think it's pretty well known that on our day we can beat anyone, but we've just got a self-destruct button this season at the moment, and it just needs to be ironed out once we clear the dead wood out, and we can go again in the summer. Look, if I don't know which Arsenal side comes up, and I don't think Mikel knows what Arsenal side comes up every week, we can have this debate all bloody day, mate. How we get on against West Ham tomorrow, I wouldn't like even to call it at the moment, mate. I don't think the North London derby will mean anything, to be honest. I think West Ham, good form. Not a bad side, overachieving in my opinion, but I hope it's a decent game, and I hope we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and give you a leg up there, to score. That's all.
Yeah. From the North London Derby one we did a couple of weeks ago, mate, if you've got a message for John Williams came on and he predicted 3-0 Spurs, and what have you got to say about that after the win for Arsenal?
Well, I mean, the great thing on it is about doing a show with West Ham fans. I mean, this could easily be with Chelsea, Brentford, or Barnet, or anything like that as well. Is that the continued hatred that we have for Tottenham is. I mean, it's just the gift that keeps giving, isn't it, Tottenham fans? They are absolutely deluded. I mean, I really hope it never stops, because you just let them go. You wind the spring up, and then you just all of a sudden I've got an ex-professional footballer. Massive respect for John, who came on last week. You've got some other numpty who's a Spurs fan as well, banging on about how Bale's going to tear us apart, and then Son's going to do this, and then midfield's going to do that. And I said, I don't know which Arsenal team's going to turn up, but we will destroy you down that left-hand side. Now, I'm not a know-all. I couldn't predict that was going to happen, but I think most people knew that, Pete Doherty from bloody Libertines and left back was going to get destroyed, wouldn't he? And lo and behold, I think even a substandard West Ham side would have beat that crap last week, to be honest with you. So, they're delusional. It's the gift that keeps giving, and it's always a nice time to play Spurs. Don't let anyone tell you about anything different. It's always a good time to play Spurs.
Well, we've already beat them this season, haven't we? But Joe, then, what's your thoughts on two sides? West Ham, Arsenal. What's your thoughts on the game?
I think it could be a difficult game, could go either way. But for me, I think West Ham, consistency-wise, are stronger than Arsenal. And I think West Ham will win. And the reason I think that, and the problem I see with Arsenal this season, is the back four and the strength in it. And I think with the players that West Ham have got, I can see it being 3-0, to be honest, to West Ham. But again, with Arsenal, it's just consistency. I think Michael's right. I just don't think who's going to turn up. Fully young players, but David Luiz and Holden, you're lucky to stay up. It's not strong enough. And Marco Antonio, I'm a big fan of his, and I think he's full of strength. And if Lingard's back running at him, I think you've got a lot of power.
Yeah. Gary, from another Arsenal perspective, what are you thinking about for tomorrow's game?
I sort of agree with both Michael and Joe. If we can get pressing at them early, then I think that will pan the game for me. But we need to get off to a strong start as today.
Yeah. Yeah, James, you're gonna love this, but considering the downfall in Spurs' form, can we just have 10 seconds of appreciation for this man, James? James, I know you love him, so I thought we'd slide that up there for you.
Your dad was behind that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In Jose we trust. That's what I say.
There we go.
Did anyone see his interview after the Europa League game? It was literally, I was waiting for a man with a white coat with a big butterfly net to sort of basically grab him, put him in his van, and take him to Battersea and dump him in the river or something like that. I know this is a bit before your time, Jake, but there was a scene in EastEnders in the 80s when Arthur Fowler stole the Christmas money and actually was doing this and having a mental breakdown. And it was like watching Mourinho. His life was going out in front of us, in front on the telly. Beautiful to watch. Probably my most favourite thing on the telly this year.
Oh dear. But I'm going back to this game then. I mean, we've got all of our thoughts on the game, so we're going to go into starting 11s now. We'll start with West Ham. James, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
This is the starting 11 that I'd like to see come out. I mean, I think that would really... I've gone for Fabianski in goal, back four of Creswell, Diop, Dawson, Soufal, Suchek and Rice in midfield, and then a front four of Ben Rama, Lingard, Fornals and Antonio. Now, that is what I'd want to see. James, is that what you'd want to see?
100%, mate. You picked the exact same team as me because Ben Rama has to play. Right? I don't know what the agenda is. I don't know what the crack is. That way he's not playing. I can't work it out. Bowen's done nothing for 10 to 12 games and been on the sidelines like an invisible man. When Ben Rama comes on, when that boy gets the ball, people sit up and take notice of what he's going to do. Do you know what I mean? He gets a lot of criticism, Ben Rama. It's unfair in my eyes. He's played he's played games for like 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. He had the odd 70-minute game. I don't think he's completed 90 minutes in all. And the boy needs to play. He needs to play consistently. And basically, if he does play against Arsenal, he'll give Louise a lot of problems. And he'll drag people out of the way. And that's what we need if we're going to get anything from this game.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I'm sure no West Ham fans would like to see this come up on their screens again. Anything like that with Noble in that and go defensive again. But is that this here? Is this, if you were Moyes, is that what you're going with?
Nailed on, mate. Absolutely agree with what James has said. I reckon 99% of West Ham fans would want that team. I can't see how they can't. I mean, that is set up to do what we've got to do against Arsenal, and that is get up and high press, because that is Arsenal's failure. We saw it the other day, didn't we, when they're trying to play across the back there. I mean, we've got players to do that with that team. But, I mean, the team against Man United is just a low block. I mean, it's, we can't do that against Arsenal. We just got to go and high press, and those players can do that job.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to go with that.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, they've been found out, Arsenal, haven't they, in the way they kind of messed around with it at the back against Burnley, against Olympiacos. That nearly cost them in the end, coming back to the Emirates. But is that where West Ham have got to really kind of do, as Mike said, high press, try and put, the likes of Leno, Louise, Xhaka under pressure, I think the ball around at the back?
Yeah, I think actually that's the West Ham's best formation. I think when you look at the game the other day, and I said to you before we come on air, I thought the first half, Antonio going down the left had a lot of the ball and a lot of possession, and he done really well, but he had no one with him because he was a single man. And I think with the four of them going forward, and they're right. If you look at Benrahma and look at him last season at Brentford, he's best player in the league last season at Brentford. And he's got a lot of ability. And I think if you press that back four, there will be a mistake. And I think with when you watch the Burnley game with Arsenal and Olympiacos game, you could see those mistakes happening before they happened. But they were nearly getting caught before it happens, and then eventually it's getting caught. And you just think sometimes, why aren't they just going along? There's nothing wrong sometimes with just getting the ball out of your half instead of piss ball in the bat, we used to call it, and then getting the ball nicked and you're in, because West Ham are very good at that. But if I was Moyes, I'd be playing that team going forward. To be fair, when you look at that West Ham team, if you added a couple of players to it, probably like a really world-class centre-back and a bit more in depth, you're probably looking at a team that can challenge, or towards Champions League every season. It's a strong team.
It is. And just for you, just to pick up on that, I mean, as a former goalkeeper yourself, did you used to hate playing the ball around from the back, the defenders messing around with it, the ball coming back to you and all of that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, all of this, it's a different game now than when I played 20 years ago, so it's different. But I think sometimes now, some teams can do it because they've got the players to do it, but other teams can't. And I think that sometimes there's nothing wrong with Rose Ed. Because we was always a believer, if you don't concede, you don't lose. So, when it's under pressure sometimes, they have to try to play out, just launch it. Especially if you've got someone like Marco Antonio up front who can hold the ball up and people can join them or turn them round, and you've got runners. They're not going to concede. And I think that teams now are so worried, we've got to play like this, or, the goalkeeper's now has got a goal kick and everyone stands on the 6-yard line. Just get out of my area. Do you know what I mean? I'm kicking it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, completely. Gary, then, does that fear you, kind of the messing around with it at the back, or do you think you trust the tactics and you trust them to implement it rightly, do you think?
Well, it does sort of fear me, but I know they're going to play that way. They're not going to be a team that hoofs the ball up the field. They're going to play from the back. But I think they need to learn that when the defenders are closing in, there is a time that you need to sort of put it in the rose head, if you like. Because they are a good passing team. They can be a good passing team, but it don't work every single time that the ball is played back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah. I mean, Michael, it's the way Arsenal play, and it probably won't change, will it? But would you prefer sometimes for Leno or whoever to just poof upfield.
Well, yeah, this is the tricky one, isn't it? I mean, not to go Groundhog Day of like the Spurs prediction last week. That it's here to stay now. Now, whether other teams, whether we as fans want that to go long, it's not going to happen, mate. That there is a philosophy now, a new philosophy, a new identity at Arsenal, and this is a patience which unfortunately football fans don't have. They don't have patience. Unfortunately, what we don't have at the moment is personnel. So until the defenders change and he gets to bring in a world-class, centre half, which we are linked to. I think until we get a world-class centre forward, I think these are things that will change in the summer. But for the moment, we have to play to our strengths. Our strengths are passing from the back. Now, when it works really well. When it doesn't, we are, we will assist teams in scoring. They won't have to, Antonio will probably get a chance tomorrow. And in fairness, we assisted Spurs with a couple of chances last week, but they didn't take them. Now, if West Ham don't take their chances, we will win. It really is that simple. We will present chances. If you score them, you'll probably win the game. If you don't, with our record that we have at the London Stadium, we will beat you. It's going to be chances. We will create chances, but we will also give them away. So it's who's basically the most prolific in sticking the ball away. It's an old adage of football: score goals, win games, and that's what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's see people's comments. Let's see what they're saying. Vinay says, is Moyes going to play defensive against Arsenal, Chelsea and Leicester? And I think if he does that, any chance of Champions League, even Europa League, perhaps could go down the drain if he kind of does what he did against United. MVT Solar says, Michael, don't worry, Moyes will play Noble as an extra midfielder. It will blow up in his face, but he would think he was unlucky.
Is Noble still there? You still got Mark Noble, isn't he? What is he now, 50-odd?
He's signed another year, isn't he? He's got another year as well.
No.
Yeah, he's just signed another year.
Christ, that's not. I'm seeing. I only thought keepers in their late 40s could play, but if he can still get back 20 minutes, fair play to him.
It's still getting Arsenal's midfield. No worries about that.
I'll take him now.
I tell you what, he'll get it in front of Xhaka. Oh, that was
He's improved. He's improved the last 2 weeks. He's got a 4 out of 10 this week last week, not a 3.
Debbie and P says, we don't need to mark Aubameyang. Right now he couldn't hit a barn door with a shotgun. Fair enough. MVT Solar. That's shots fired, that is, literally. But MVT says, don't Moyes believe in Arsenal players. He worships the traditional top six. Can't see West Ham winning. Benrahma won't get picked. He will pick Noble over him. MVT, I pray to God that he doesn't. I really do. Kent says, that's my lineup, but Fornals in the middle. Soufal v Tierney, I think that's 2 of the best fullbacks in the league coming up against each other, and that could be really.
No, Tierney's not that good.
And it's like Groundhog Day with bloody Spurs fans again, isn't it? Unbelievable. I tell you what, Hammers. If you don't win tomorrow, you won't come in the top 8. You've got a run of games coming up, which will define your season. I think you've got Wolves, Leicester, Chelsea, and all that coming up. If you don't,
this is coming from an Arsenal fan who's 10.
We don't worry. The league's got nothing to do with us.
This is coming from a man who's sitting in 10th position. Oh my days.
Well, to be fair, I think you're quite wrong with Soufal there. If you don't think Soufal's one of the best fullbacks in the league this season, I don't know what you've been watching, if I'm being honest. And James will fully back me up there, James, won't you?
Top class, mate. He's been one of the best right backs, West Ham. I'm 34 years old, mate, and I've seen only a couple. Tim Breaker back in the 90s was a decent right back, and basically that's about it, really. You could probably say Glenn Johnson, but he was only there 6 months before he left. But other than that, he's top class. He does what I like about him, the differences between him and Tierney. Tierney bombs forward and he's good attacking, very good attacking. And he's a good, half-decent defender, but Coufal's a proper defender. He will defend, he will take a yellow card.
Jesus.
Yeah. he is half-decent. Yeah, but you just wait till Ben Rama runs rings round him. You know what I mean? From the bench.
I heard all this last week with Bale.
Mate, we are not. Listen, like, if Tottenham can go 3-0 up against us and end up drawing, then anything's possible. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, don't come out to Tottenham, please.
How's Ben Rama going to do anything off the bench?
Do you know, I've got a feeling though, mate. The difference with this one, and I don't know whether the West Ham boys are agreeing with this one, but Moyes has dug a hole now from last week, and he has. Yeah. He's dug a big hole, and now he has to match the expectations of the fans, because if there's a 5 at the back, they'd be baying for blood. A lot will be baying for blood. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are in form. Like, I've got nothing. I won't say anything disrespectful to Arsenal. They're in form at the minute. They've just beat their North London rivals. Just got through the Europa League. It's the worst time to play Arsenal, but we've got to understand that if he starts playing this defensive-minded football, we don't win games playing that. Top teams don't play 5 at the back, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I think if you look at the league, and if you looked at the start of the season, West Ham fans would be happy with staying up, wouldn't they? To be fair, but like now, they've got that opportunity as a club. If you get in that top 4, the financial incentives take that to the next level, and the players you can attract can push you forward. And that's you either gambles on it, and you risk finishing 9th or 4th, or you try and do what you did last week and try and scrape in 6th, and that doesn't work. Because when you play the top teams, they'll break you down. Do you know what I mean? Eventually, they wear you down. They put so many balls in the box. You know, people laugh about Aubameyang this year. Aubameyang's been one of the best players in this league since he's been here. Eventually, he's going to play a game and he's going to score 5 goals or whatever. You just got to hope that's not tomorrow. And if you go too defensive and you let Arsenal come on you, and Smith-Rowe and all these players come running at you, they've got quality going forward, Arsenal. You know, they will score goals. So you've got to get them on the back foot, because then they can't get forward, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of attacking capability with Willian on the left wing, isn't there?
Yeah, I like him.
He's injured at the moment. He might not play.
Yeah, they won't play tomorrow.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be very surprised if the team for Arsenal is not exactly the same as the one that beat Spurs.
Yeah.
So,
see, I mean,
Lacazette will come back in, and maybe Martinelli off the bench. That
Saka's a late one, isn't it?
Aubameyang has not been great this year for Arsenal.
I know.
He has been poor. Really,
Can I ask something though, right? Do you know, like last week with what happened with Aubameyang, with the time in being late and all that, and having to sit on the bench? I just want to hear both of your thoughts on that. As your club captain, obviously you've got to lead by example, etc. I just want to hear what you think about that.
Michael?
Well, I said it yesterday. No one actually knows what went on. We're all speculating what's come out, that he was late. It might not be that, and it might be that he's been warned 2 or 3 times. You know, if you carry on being late, or you're gonna be banned for a match. And they've got to set that example to the younger players coming through, like the Smith-Rowes and the Sakas. Otherwise, you're going to have them trying their arm at it in the future once they get a girlfriend or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem I have, the only problem I have with it is, obviously we had to convince Aubameyang to stay and sign a new deal last year. So obviously we upgraded the contract to make him captain. Now, I think all of us on here, if you look at Aubameyang, you don't see a captain, do you? I mean, he's not a motivator. He's not so much a talker. He's quite a quiet guy. You know, it was just probably something to appease him to get the deal over the table. Now, the worst thing, and I think if most Arsenal fans would agree, the worst thing we did was making captain. That was the worst thing. We've now given perhaps an added responsibility that he doesn't need, and perhaps the club doesn't need. So I would hope going forward, if he does stay, and there's no guarantees he will stay at Arsenal, that we take the captaincy away from him and makes like something like Thomas Partey or maybe Xhaka again, I don't know. But we take that position away from him and just let him get away with scoring goals and, you know, being flashy. And, you know, I mean, I look at former Arsenal captains like, you know, Paddy Vieira and Tony Adams, you know, and I don't see Aubameyang as that role at all. You know, I know I'm getting old a bit now, and the social media side, and the trainers and the cars and stuff like that. But I don't like it. And Arsenal's a very traditional club. You know, I know we've moved a new stadium and stuff like that, but I don't like it. I don't particularly like him as a captain anyway.
There isn't so much of them sort of midfield generals in the league anymore, like your Paul Inces or your all the defenders, like your Keanes.
Oh, Gary, there is Gary, and he plays for us. His name's Declan Rice.
True.
There is, good old Deck. You know what I mean? All hands on deck.
But the problem is now you can't tackle like that anymore. You can't play that way. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the way it's gone, to be honest. I like it. I liked the tackle, and but so that them players have gone. But I think Aubameyang as captain, I think that's weak. I mean, in any club, you don't want them flair players being the captain. You need a leader in the change room. And I think probably the last thing you want is your captain being late, because normally, if there's an issue like that, the captain deals with it. He's the one that sets the fines. He's the one that deals with the manager. And the manager's got a captain that's late. And there's obviously multiple times or other issues. He ain't just done that out of the blue.
No, it's not. No, it's not the only time, Joe. You're right.
Can't be. But I thought, I've got to be honest, I thought it was a great statement from your manager that he did that and then spoke about it. And I thought, do you know what? No one's bigger than the football club.
Yeah.
So, no players. And I thought that I really did respect what he did last week with that and spoke about it. I liked it.
I agree.
Yeah. Kind of back to this game then. I mean, Mike, how do you think this game's going to pan out then? How do you think it's going to go in your eyes?
All depends on the formation and what players first now we stick out there and make the start. But I'd really like to see us, with that lineup that you put out there, just go up against Arsenal, go toe for toe, go and do that high press. Yeah, you can't do it all the time. You've got to do it in different sections of the game. You've got to do it as a team, though. You've got to work. They've all got to do it, with that, all in the same mindset. If we do that, I think we can pull it off. I think we can get a result. But I think it, like James said, it's a bad time to play Arsenal. They're looking good form. They look like they've got some really good players. I like to look at that Smith Rowe. He's a good player.
Yeah,
he has got something about him. But they're always, they're up there to make that mistake, but we've got to go and force those mistakes, and people like Ben Rama, James said he hasn't been given enough time. And some of the games he has played, he's played in that little pocket and he has won the ball back for us. And that's what he's going to need to do tomorrow. He's going to need to be pushing and winning that ball back. And he's got the ability and he's brave enough to get on the ball and do little things and knock those little balls. We really do need him and Lindegaard, Antonio on form. Fornell's to do his job. He always does. He's a tidy player. He works hard. He's needed to do the dirty stuff at times. You always need someone to do that. That used to be me in the team that I played in. But I mean, we've got to go toe to toe to Arsenal and give them a go. I know it's going to be tough. It's going to be a difficult one, but if we do that. And if we do that and we lose, I'll stand and put my hand up and say, right, we give it a go. But I think, it is a big game for both teams. I think it's a massive game because if Arsenal
any of you guys
getting in the top,
top six. Where do any of you guys see any weaknesses in the West Ham team?
Oh, if we have a look, James, I'll put this to you too, sis. Let me just get this up. I mean, what weaknesses, James, do you see there?
I'll tell you, there's one man that I'm worried about tomorrow, and I do fear for him. It's Diop.
Yeah,
Diop's the one that I am nervous about. If he don't, he needs to play 7, 8 out of 10 game. He needs to be proper on it tomorrow. Against Man United, he was all over the place, out of position, clumsy on the ball. And I like Diop. This is not an agenda against Diop or me hating on Diop. I actually do generally like him, and I know there's a boy there, there's a talent. But the problem is, if you're up against fast, tricky players, he could chuck a foot in anywhere. He's a bit clumsy like that. In the air, and what it is with Arsenal, they don't really play the ball in the air. They play the ball on the ground. So we've got to be. What we've got to do, we've got to push them out wide, and then basically avoid. Let them cross balls in, because we'll deal with that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. But going back to what you were saying, yeah. Diop for me, maybe Cresswell a little bit with pace. I think Cafal, the other side, would have that under control. Any pace against Cresswell, he's good, Cresswell, but he's not got the legs anymore, if that makes sense. But yeah, them two for me.
Yeah. Joe, do you see any weaknesses in the West Ham side?
I think it depends how Arsenal play and how West Ham play, because I actually think Lingard might play on the right. And if Lingard plays on the right, I think you might be one man short in midfield against Arsenal. And I would worry about Diop and players running it in and penalties and free kicks. But if Arsenal overload the midfield, and they have got some good players, Arsenal in midfield, that can run at you, I think that if whoever plays 10 doesn't track back, they're always going to have the extra man. And if they can play the ball forward to feet, and Arsenal will play to feet, always do, and play around the box, that's the risk, I think. But, West Ham as a team have played brilliantly this season most weeks. And they've not really had the usual West Ham, 4-5-0 hammering every 6-7 games. They've been pretty consistent. And, Declan Rice is very good. And he's getting better and better. And he can cover those positions. I think it's going to be one for Arsenal's point of view in midfield is where I think, because by numbers, if West Ham play that way.
Yeah.
Which I think they will. I don't think Noble will play.
No. Let's hope not. Let's definitely hope not. I'm going to just go through a few comments, and then we'll do player watch, and we will move on. Lee says, hi everyone, the table don't lie. I think we will get the win. 3-1 West. I'm looking forward to this game. Londoners, claret and blue. Yes, Lee. Thank you very much. Andy says, if Kieran Tierney is quiet, is the key to West Ham winning. I believe Fornals will play on the right to help Soufal and have a chance. I fancy Ben Rama and Lingard against their back four completely. Sam Brown, come on you Iron, says, I think we owe Arsenal one, to be honest. We need Ben Rama, Lingard, Fornals to start together. Yes, I agree. MVT says, Moyes want to play with 10 defenders, but it's not socially acceptable. It's like putting jam on your fish and chips.
Good point.
That Soufal Tierney debate has come back to Kent just saying Soufal only cost £5 million completely. What else are you guys saying? Lee says, if VAR was back in the day, Jesus, there would be no one on the pitch. If we win tomorrow, do the Arsenal fans fear you could turn into our feeder club? And then MVT says, Richard, nothing worth eating beside West Ham are after hungry players. Right, what we're going to do now, I've got two players to go with player watch today. I haven't done stats, I've just put them together. And the two I've picked is the new man in midfield, Martin Odegaard and Kieran Tierney. Gary, to you first. How important are these two players for you?
The one on the right, Kieran Tierney, he's important every game. To me, he's been Arsenal's best player this season. And he always gives 100%. It's like Joe said. If and Martin Odegaard, if he can play well, and whoever's around him in the midfield can play well, then they will be a very big influence on the game. They both need to play well.
Yeah. And Michael, thoughts on those two players? How important are they for you?
I haven't seen Tierney have a bad game yet. This is the thing. I mean, you're always going to get 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for him. Our left-hand side is dynamic. That's our biggest weapon at the moment. I mean, Saka and Tierney are probably our joint best players. it's exciting to watch. And I don't really care who plays there anyway. I mean, you say about this other guy, Suford, or whoever plays on the right or left field. Our left hand side is pretty world class at the moment. So you will have to contend with that. Tottenham couldn't the other week. And they paid the price. We got in so easy down there left hand side. Moyes isn't a mug. He will see that, and I would think he would plug the gap because he's not going to have a right hand side that ventures too forward, especially in the first hour tomorrow. You got to be in the game with Arsenal. So if it's 0-0 at half time, you're right in it, and then you just have to be patient. Will Luis make a mistake? Will our keeper make a mistake? Well, if he does, you have to capitalise. If you don't, then we will nick something at the other end. I do fancy us tomorrow, and I do worry for your season if you don't beat us tomorrow because of the games that you have coming up afterwards. It's very easy for Arsenal fans to say, well, and deflect the situation. Go, well, it's not a big game in the league because we are 8 points behind you, and rightly so. You've been better than us, but if we win tomorrow, we're 5 points behind. You got Wolves, Leicester, and Chelsea, and all of a sudden we've got the bottom three teams. We could go catapulting ahead you, and all of a sudden we haven't had a bad season. We're still in the Thursday night cup. So it's a big game for you rather than us.
Does anyone think he's a bit nervous? You sound nervous, Mike. What's going on here, mate?
We got no pressure.
You're the serial deflector. The serial deflector, mate.
One thing that you have got is Lingard has got one hell of a goal scoring record against Arsenal. He used to score for fun for United against us. So
he's already practiced his Millie Rock. He's already practiced his Millie Rock. That's what it is.
Put a fiver on him to score the first goal.
Oh dear. A bit of West Ham news broke last night. Mike, I'll start with you. And it was a surprise. The under-23 starting lineup came out. Yeah. As Masuaku and Yarmolenko were featured in it, so they're back to some sort of fitness. That's positive for us, Mike, isn't it, going forward?
Yeah, Masuaku. I think I said the other day. I think to James, I think we could actually play with a back five again. Then that's the only time I go with it is with him in there. I don't rate him as a defender, but going forward, he's got a lot of ability going forward. There's no doubt about it. He goes by people fun. But so that's good news because the squad is so light anyway. I mean, we've been going in with 8 on the bench, and 2 goalkeepers. So that's how light our bench has been for a long time. You put that team up, that's a good team. We've got 11 good players. But I mean, the squad is.
What is that? Karen Brady in the back? I can hear.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't own a dog anymore.
James. It's positive news. I mean, I know you're with me. You're not the biggest Yarmolenko fan, but it's just getting numbers back, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive, mate. I'm not being funny. Against Man United, we had 4 under-23s and 2 goalkeepers on the bench. It says it all. It shows you how light we are as a club. I'm not the fan of the pair of them, but I'll tell you something now. If we had Masuaku as our left-sided wing-back, I'd be happy because he's a left-back and he won't get turned inside out like Ben Johnson did. But, yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Get down, shit.
Right, a couple more comments came in if we can put them up. W&P says when West Ham win, Arsenal fans will be calling for Arteta out. And yeah, Lee says we didn't have Lingard or Benny last time out. I think this will be a good game as we were lucky not to win or get a draw. Yeah, I think we were really unlucky in that game. You let the dog out. So what we're going to do now, we will be back very, very shortly. Please see the video here on Canning Town Lane. We will be back for predictions, some more predicted 11s, and we'll be back very, very shortly. See you in a moment. Canning Town Len is your best place to buy custom portraits that you can buy on the internet. Canning Town Len does animated portraits like this one he did for me up here. They are absolutely fantastic and I couldn't recommend them enough. So just some ones that he did for me. I've got this one here outside the London Stadium. I mean, it looks just like me, really, the best possible kind of animated portrait, kind of animated cartoon kind of picture I could hope for, really. They're absolutely amazing and they are so realistic, look exactly like me, and they are very good to buy. So make sure you do click the link in the description down below to buy a portrait from Canning Town Len. I'd highly recommend them. Click the link in the description down below. He does animated portraits, non-West Ham related, West Ham related, lots of different backgrounds, any shirt, any background. You can basically customize it to your absolute kind of needs and what you exactly want. So click the link in the description down below to check out Canning Town Len. Come on, your irons. So we are back and we're going to continue the team. We're going to move on to predicted 11, and then we'll move on to some other stuff and then predictions. So this predicted 11 is this is what I found on Twitter for Arsenal. It's Leno, Gabriel, Luiz, Cedric, Tierney, Xhaka, Partey, Emile Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Michael, would you agree with that 11?
No. No. It would be exactly the same as Tottenham, mate. Be exactly the same. Lacazette was rested in the week, so he's ready. He'll play at the weekend. Saka's not injured, so I don't know why he's not playing then. And if Lacazette's tired, and Martinelli will probably come. I think he's gonna. I think Aubameyang's in the doghouse here, much like Gary is at the moment. But I don't see him playing. I don't see him playing a little bit at the moment. I think there's. I know it's amicable, but I think the team that beat Tottenham will beat West Ham. And sorry to come on your show and say that, but I think we'll beat you. And just because we got such a good record at your place, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't write this. I found this somewhere, so somebody obviously thinks this is right. But Gary, what would you change with that then? Because this seems to be sniffed up at then.
Martinelli won't start. Cedric will probably be Bellerin.
Oh, please be Bellerin, please, please. I hope so. Good old Bellas.
Yeah.
Martinelli will probably come off the bench later on. 60th, 70th minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with Saka, if he isn't in that squad, that's a massive plus for us, Joe, isn't it? I think I've seen somewhere that it's going to be a very late call. It's going to be a late fitness test to see whether he's going to be involved. It's going to be a massive call when that team sheet comes out if he isn't there.
Yeah, 100%. He's a top player. Top player for Arsenal.
Oh, he is, definitely. And let's go on to who you fear then. James, we put these two players up here, Odegaard and Tierney. Is there anybody else that you're fearing from that side?
That Odegaard, is it? Yeah, he's decent. You don't go and play for Real Madrid at 15 if you're not that good. Do you know what I mean? So, he's a decent lad, decent player. Obviously, Arsenal has a threat that are going forward. Obviously, if Partey plays, no Partey, if we can take him out of the equation, if Declan Rice can get in front of him and sort him out, then we've got a chance to get something decent out of the game. Because if he runs the show for them, he's a top class talent, Partey. So obviously Odegaard going forward, Tierney down the left. Obviously, we just got to make sure that if we keep them players quiet, Arsenal will be quiet, and that's it, really.
Yeah. Gary, who do you fear from the West Ham team then?
Lingard.
Yeah.
Pure and simple, because he will run at the defence. whenever he gets the ball, he runs forward. He don't go back. So that's for me. That's the biggest player we fear if he plays.
Yeah, I mean, if there isn't any injury scare, I think there's no doubt that he'll be in that. And Michael, do you fear Lingard?
Well, you have to, just because of his scoring record against Arsenal. If you look at, he hasn't got very good stats at all for United. His goals for games and his assists are terrible. But against Arsenal, they're outstanding. I mean, every player sometimes just has a club, where they just score or they just perform very well. I think Lingard will play a strong hand in the game tomorrow. I think you'll have to probably put somebody next to him. I mean, it's how you let him play his natural game. So whether you drop, I don't know, Alan Devonshire back in the midfield or like a George Paris, I don't know. I don't really know much about West Ham. You've kind of snuck up on us this year. I mean, one year it's Moyes out, and you're staring at Division 2, and the next thing you're in the top 4. I mean, it's almost like being an Arsenal fan at the moment with West Ham. You're up and you're down, you're up and you're down. But at the moment, enjoy it while you're up there, because I do fear for you after a defeat tomorrow that you will slide down the league. That's just my honest opinion.
I think,
and I don't like you as well.
I think that's the 6th time you've mentioned that after this game.
Arsenal top 4. Arsenal top 4. Bloody hell! He's going back years ago. He's going back years ago. You know what I mean? They got to get in the Europa first when you're there. You know what I mean? Oh dear. Good old Mike.
Unbelievable. I remember 1987, the last game when you went up the way to Anfield. You only had to get us a draw against Liverpool, and you lost 5-1. Leo Rosenia scored the 1. That's what made us win the league. So I do quite like West Ham.
I was there when Leroy Ross Senior out-jumped Tony Adams, and we won 1-0 in the FA Cup.
Well, hey, there you go.
And
Joe,
then Brady played for us.
Joe, where do you think the game will be won or lost tomorrow?
I think, as I said before, I think for Arsenal, they'll win it in midfield. And if West Ham win it, it will be the attackers bombing on. And I think it will be Lingard that potentially makes a difference. And I think he'll go on the right to get more space. And I think he's had a lot of joy. Since he's been at West Ham, he's had a lot of joy down that right-hand side, either crossing balls in or scoring goals. For me, that's the two teams will win it in different areas, depending on the formations. But Arsenal will overload the midfield. But I think West Ham can high press Arsenal's back 4.
Yeah. Gary, where do you think the game will be won or lost, mate?
In Arsenal's defence. If we don't mess around with the ball and we do the right things, then we'll win the game. But if, like Michael said at the beginning, if we give them opportunities, then we're going to lose the game ourselves.
Yeah, completely. I mean, from a West Ham perspective of this then, Mike, do you think that the midfield is going to be the most crucial part for us tomorrow?
Yes and no, but I think pressing is a team. I mean, it's like I said earlier, there's got to be a trigger, and we've got to do it together as a team. And I think that's where it's going to be won and lost. And we just need to take those opportunities when we get them. We will get some. I'm sure we will. Both you Arsenal guys have admitted, you will give us them opportunities. Oh, yeah. But we've got to take them, like you said. And I think Arsenal have been lucky to beat us in the last 2 games. Really lucky. I mean, we deserved the draw in the last one. If it weren't for a bad decision, we'd have got a penalty and got a draw in that one. I mean, at home in the last game, Arsenal were so poor in the first half. We should have been 3 or 4-0 up. But we were so poor in the second half that we give them 3 terrible goals, and it was an abysmal game. It really was. 2 poor teams on the night, to be honest. We were bad, and Arsenal were just a little bit better. But I think we're due that little bit of luck. I think a little bit of luck may come around to us tomorrow.
Hopefully, mate. James, I think what are you feeling then? If we're at half time, we're still in this. If we get to the 70 minutes, we're still in this. Do you think that we're not really thinking like that, are we? I think we can go up there and we can easily score. If we can score an early goal, I think we'll have control. Don't you think?
Set pieces, 100%. Corners, free kicks, get everything in the box. One thing Arsenal haven't really got is height. They've got a lot of players, a lot of youngsters, but they've got no sort of big built lads. Do you know what I mean? When you're going in for corners and free kicks, we've got Diop, Rice, Souček, Antonio. They're big lads, and even Dawson. And that's where it's going to be won or lost. If we take our chances from set pieces, we're going to have half a chance. I agree. The high press is important, massively important, because if they get through it, they get through that high press, then we're in trouble because they'll be running straight onto our defence. But yeah, I agree. It's going to be tough, and that is where it's going to be won or lost. Really, if we capitalise on their mistakes, then we've got half a chance of getting a decent result.
Yeah, I think we do. I think Joe's just nipped out there. I don't know. I'm sure he will come back. There's a bit of Michael. There's a bit of a couple of West Ham fans not agreeing with what you're saying about specific things about.
No, what, on a West Ham show? You're joking.
Oh, where's the comment? Peach says, let me at this 4D. He's having a laugh. Oh, Peach, I've sent you the link. So come on if you want. I think Joe's rejoined us. There he is.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got BT just turned up.
No worries. We're gonna go on to predictions. But just before we do that, coming very soon. Including Joe and Michael. A bit of a different show. Joe, just explain to us. I mean, you've got it on your hat and your T-shirt there, DT38.
Yeah, so it's a Dylan Tombides Foundation, and Dylan obviously played for West Ham. I was actually Dylan's agent, and I'm extremely good friends with his family. Sadly died 7 years ago of testicular cancer that he got when he was 17, and it kept coming back a few different times, and he eventually died. And we raise money now for awareness and to get people really to check below every month to make sure there's no lumps, because actually people do it or don't do it, and this kills a lot of men, and it sadly killed Dylan. So we just want to keep his memory alive and raise as much money as we can for cancer.
Yeah, definitely, and a show on that very soon. So look out for that. So predictions then. I've just had a drink and it's really gone down the wrong way, so I do apologise. But let's see what people are saying in the chat with their predictions first. Gary's gone 2-1 West Ham. I think there's going to be a lot of 2-1s today. I think that's my prediction, 2-1. Also 2-1. Jay says 3-1. And that's all that's coming. So guys, get your predictions in. All 17 of you watching, get your predictions in. Right, I'm going to go around the room. Firstly, James is to my right, but it's your left. But anyway, James, prediction.
2-2. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. If Ben Rama plays, then I think we win. But if Ben Rama don't play, I'd fancy the draw all day. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, draw for me, 2-2.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I'm going with a draw as well, because a draw's no good for Arsenal, is it? That keeps them 8 points off us again, and the games are getting less and less and less. I mean, we get a point, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Arsenal to catch us. That's one team that ain't going to catch us then. I've got a feeling it'll be 1-1. But all
Joe?
depends on the line-up again. I want Ben Rama to start, I really do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we'll just wait and see, won't we?
I mean, we all hope when we log on at 1:30 on Twitter or whatever, and we do see that lineup and not that lineup. But no, right. That's the end of me putting that up now, because I know it gives James nightmares. Joe, what's your prediction?
I think it'll be 3-0 West Ham. Michael Antonio 1, Lingard 1, David Luiz on goal.
Yes, Joe. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That has made my day. That has made my day.
Dear. If it's 3-0, Michael will emigrate. Oh, mate.
And if it's 3-0, I'll be watching Arsenal TV like that. I won't take my eyes off it.
Oh yeah, that'd be worth watching. That would,
They're the best
Hey,
TV
I'll tell you
channel
what,
ever.
boys. You think I'm a pain in the ass now? You wait until you get stuff tomorrow.
Right. This is where the kind of correct predictions and the positive predictions are going to go right down now. Gary, what's your prediction?
Yeah, this is the first of the only 2 Arsenal predictions. 2-0 to Arsenal.
Michael?
Well, I've already done my bet as well. So I'm going to go with Arsenal 3-1. And I'll even put Lingard down to score first as well, just to make it a bit interesting for you. And then, no, I can see goals tomorrow. We will give you chances. I can't keep repeating myself, but we will give you chances. You probably will get one, but the way we're attacking at the moment, West Ham aren't going to be good enough for us. I'm afraid it's not going to be strong enough to keep us out.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's various predictions there, and the 2 predictions that I'm going to go for, I mean, I can see it's being 2-1, 3-2, but I'm going to stick to 2-1 West Ham. I think we're going to come out. James, who's going to score?
Mate, Ben Rama scores his first goal, mate. We seem to get players who love scoring their first goal against Arsenal, so hopefully he's the first one. So yeah, Ben Rama and Lingard.
And from my perspective, who am I about? Who am I about to click on?
Dawson.
Man United's best player.
Scored a cracker last week, didn't he? Against United.
Get it right in this week.
Come off his ear.
Right, Dawson is saying, right, I'm the best centre back in the world, and you all need to just be quiet. Be quiet. I mean, I'm going to show these, was it Gooners, Gunners, something like that rubbish. I'm going to show them what West Ham are made of, and we're going to go out there and we're going to win, and we're going to get Champions League football. Thank you very much, Craig. That is another exclusive interview live on West Ham Unofficial. So if you do want to see more of them, hit the like button, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, all of that stuff. But let's dive into some more of your predictions in the comments. Kent is going 3-2 West Ham. And he's also going 3-2 West Ham. Now he's gave us a full match report of what's going to happen. He said West Ham will go 2-1 down. Rice makes it 2-2. And Mr. Lingard winner. I would love that. In the 88th minute, Lingard in the corner. There we go. Thank you very much. Job done. Champions League football. Here we come. Lee says 3-1 West Ham. We've shown we can compete with the top clubs. Mostly every game I can see us scoring 3 goals. So he's got a 3-1 West Ham. I like that, Lee. I really do.
Jake, what have you done with all the Arsenal predictions?
There's none in. I mean,
surprising.
You can see chat. There's no Arsenal predictions. Only you 2 have gone with an Arsenal win, and I mean,
we're the only 2 Arsenal people on it. That's why.
I tell you what, my wife supports Arsenal.
Yeah, dear.
Household tomorrow then.
Yeah, I'm just a couple.
In your house then, Joe.
No, she's like, I'm listening to her trying to sort out. I've got a massive problem between Sky and BT, and they're all out there trying to sort it out, and I can hear it going on.
Oh dear. Couple of memorable moments that I've picked up on. Obviously, a couple of years ago, one with Declan Rice will never forget that fantastic first goal for West Ham. In that fantastic 1-0 win at the London Stadium. For West Ham, fantastic that was. I don't remember it, but some of you might. Trevor Brooking.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
13th minute he scored.
There you go. That was in the quiz.
Michael, he scored the 13th minute. Just to remind you, I'm just letting you know that he scored the 13th minute. So Trev.
You dug these up, haven't you?
1980s. That was the only goal he scored with his head, wasn't it?
Right.
What year was it?
1980.
80.
Yeah. AC.
I tell you one thing that I do like about that cup final, and I know it is, but you know, the Paul Allen tackle is there's a photo of that in my toilet if you want to know. All right.
I was in that West Ham end, and I was with
Paul Allen clean through. Willie Young took him out. I've also got Van Nistelrooy being jumped on by Keown in my toilet as well.
Oh dear. Guys, any last thoughts for tomorrow's game before we wrap things up? West Ham are going to win. There we go. That's the final thoughts. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to West Ham Unofficial. We'll be back. I'm sure, James. We will be back very, very soon. Come on, you Wines. West Ham win. We're going on a European tour. And we'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.